Shalom. First and foremost, call Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Also, peace and blessings to the hopefully elect. So I got a couple articles here I want to jump into. Breaking news going on within the planet Earth, man. And yo, all I can say is fasten your seatbelts or hold on tight, cuz baby, we about to get out of here, man. Okay, very, very soon. All hell's about to break loose, and we about to get out of here. All right, so Israel, keep your head up. Your redemption draweth nigh. Politicians are quietly preparing for a digital dollar. It's not good for your freedom. And starting with our elders and apostles, they've been preaching about this thing for years upon years. The collapse of this current system. See, there was a time when people thought that life as they know it would always continue in this way. But see, the men of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we've always been saying, all right, before any of this even, begun to take place, man, because we have an insight into the plans of the elites, and the Most High has revealed his secrets unto his prophets. But yeah, we've always been speaking about this. We've been warning for years upon years upon years. And of course, as the scriptures say, the vision is for an appointed time. So now is the appointed time for these things to come forth in the planet Earth, for prophecy to be fulfilled. All right, which we know that the elites, this is an overhaul of the current system and moving into the new system, the new beast system, as we always say. So it says here, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem just vetoed a little publicized but extremely important bill that would have made it easier for the federal government to implement a central bank digital currency, which again, that's going to be the means by which you're going to be able to buy and sell in the B system, pursuant to Revelation 13 and 16. Stopping House Bill 1193 helps fend off one of the biggest threats to freedom facing Americans today. Going back to Klaus Schwab and the WEF, in the Great Reset, you will own nothing and you will be happy. In choosing to veto the legislation, Noem, a Republican, bravely took on her own party, which dominates South Dakota's legislature. Hopefully, lawmakers in other states will soon take notice. Identical legislation is being offered in more than 20 states. Now, notice how they say that this is being done quietly. See, this is being done hush hush. They're not broadcasting this in the mainstream media, but I wonder why. I wonder why they're not broadcasting this in the mainstream media, even though, matter of fact, they barely talking about the SVB bank collapse in the mainstream media. You really have to search for this information. So this is being done right under people's noses. And look at that. 334 thumbs up and 4,000 thumbs down. See, people, matter of fact, let's go into these comments. Let's see what people are saying. They will have full control of your money at all times. Only fools would do this. This is the very last thing anyone should want. This is not about convenience. This is not about security. There it goes. So the system that they're about to implement, people are well aware that this is some BS, man. Okay, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna go with it out of fear, but there's gonna be a lot of pushback. There's gonna be a lot of resistance going into this. That's why Klaus Schwab said years ago, we must prepare for an angrier world. See, these devils know when they make certain moves, they already know how people is gonna react. But then combined with the inflation and the lack of food, the scarcity of resources, harsh living conditions, people are gonna fold, right? So there's gonna be resistance at first, but once people start going through some hell, people gonna fold, and they're gonna opt to get with the B system. This will add an expiration date to your money. Have it out of circulation too long, and it is gone. Digital dollar is the excuse to destroy the USA. In other words, double the national debt via backdoor. This would allow them to encode fake money that could be held in a digital wallet. All right, so people have some idea of what this is all about. But yeah, man, this thing is about to happen very, very soon. All right, I just brought out the article the other day that said by June or July, they about to implement the FedNow payment system. All right, which that's going to be the first leg of the CDBC. So this here, why 186 other banks could go the way of Silicon Valley Bank. So now they're saying 186 other banks are basically going to collapse as well. So looking at these things, what is the future of your money? What is your future, period? Well, if you're in the truth, if you're a brother and sister, all right, if you worship Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, you understand that there is no future here. See, this is why if you're in this truth, you've given your life over unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You've given your life in this world up, because it's all vanity. All this is passing away. The people of this world don't understand that, but they're going to understand very, very soon. People are already starting to understand. But when things hit full force, when your money, see, because the money, which this is not real money is gold and silver. But when the Fed note is worthless, because right now it's being worth less, but very soon it's going to be worth nothing. Once it gets to that point, and you have to get with the CDBC, that's when people are going to understand, yo, we done, like we through. All right. 4 economists found 186 other banks share the characteristics that contribute to SVB's failure. In their paper, Monetary Tightening in U.S. Bank Fragility in 2023, Mark-to-Market Losses and Uninsured Depositor Runs, the co-authors concluded that if a mere 50% of those uninsured depositors decided to withdraw their funds, 186 banks and potentially 300 billion of insured deposits would be at risk. Now, this is key because by the FDIC, your money is covered up unto $250,000. So they're saying if even 50% of the uninsured depositors withdraw their funds, then basically the banks are going to collapse. Okay, which means that anyone that does have 250,000 in the bank, your money's going to be gone. The FDIC isn't even going to cover that. Understand? So you're going to be asked out. That's basically what they're telling you. The key factors these banks share with SVB are a relatively high level of uninsured deposits, over 250,000, a significant drop in the value of government bonds and mortgage-backed securities due to interest rates that have risen from about 0% to nearly 5% in the last 12 months. Finished. All right, completely through. CNN. Team robbed while working on San Francisco street crime story. And you can't make this up. And if you know anything about San Francisco, California, period, it's a very left state. All right, there's pretty much no order out there. People just do what they want to do. Crime is rampant. Theft is sky high. You know what I'm saying? Homicide, murder rate, homelessness is just through the roof. California overall is a mess, man. That's why right now, for the past few years, you've been having a mass exodus out of California to other states such as Texas and Florida, and, you know, states that are more affordable and have more order. See, people don't want to live in no order because this is what you have. When you live in an anarchic society in which there's no law and order, the people suffer. See, law and order is better than no law and order. And that's what people are beginning to find out. Because just being, you know, this whole idea of just being free and doing what you want to do. Look at the state of the earth through that mentality. Look at the state of life, period, through that mentality, man. Everything's destroyed. Nothing is flourishing, man. You know? But yeah, it says got robbed again. La says she and CNN's Jason Kraverick were inside City Hall when thieves smashed their way into a car being watched by security guards and made off with items including her passport. So they had security guards there, but it ain't make them no difference. That's how brazen and bold that they are out there in San Francisco. And they ain't seen nothing yet. Because, the ish really hasn't even hit the fan. So you mean to tell me that even when security guards are watching Your things that people steal in broad daylight, still, risking that because ultimately they know that there's no consequence. You can run up in a Gucci store and snatch everything in there. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. So why not? And this is what the elites want. The elites want the chaos so that they can bring their draconian system of law and order. It's all order out of chaos. This is the motto, the plan. But seriously, this is ridiculous. Security guards hired to watch the CNN team's rental car and equipment car reportedly gave chase, but the crooks pulled away in a black Infiniti with California plates. The CNN guards got a picture of the car and its license plate as it sped off. Lied worried she wouldn't be able to fly back to her home base in LA because her ID was in one of the stolen bags, according to the reporter. So damn, they just came and took her belongings. Yeah, man, but yo, it's like that. This is the society that we're living in, and it will get worse. This is a Zero Hedge article. Wave of anti-government protests are setting the world on fire. There has been a surge in protests and strikes around the world, primarily focused on economic hardships, skyrocketing inflation, political turmoil, and geopolitical issues. Recent protests have emerged in France, Greece, Great Britain, Israel, Venezuela, South Korea, Moldova, and Portugal. While some of these demonstrations have been peaceful, others have resulted in clashes with law enforcement. One of the most troubling countries is France, where protests flared up last week. And over there in France, they've been having them protests for a long time now. I believe these protests have been going on for about a year over there. And then Macron, he just upped the retirement age from 62 to 64. So people definitely mad about that, amongst other things. Inflation, cost of food, living, all of that. So it's all going down, man. And this is worldwide. This is all across the earth. President Emmanuel Macron circumvented Parliament by passing unpopular pension reform that raises the retirement age from 62 to 64, like I just mentioned. Trash cans in France are being set on fire. French social media is leading this trend to light garbage on fire. The French know how to protest. It must smell awful now, even more so than usual. Yeah, so you get the picture. But the point is that the Most High has the people in this spirit, because this is fulfilling last days prophecy. All right, and let's go to it. Luke 21 and 25. Luke 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity. And perplexity means that the distress is going to come in many forms. The sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. See, so the scriptures say that in the last days there are going to be signs in the sun. They've been reporting recently that the sun is having extreme activity. Like the sun is acting strange. In the moon, the stars, people seeing the chariots. The moon is having strange cycles. And upon the earth, distress of nations. What are they talking about in this article? Waves of anti-government protests are setting the world on fire. See, the whole world, the nations, okay? The heathen are in an uproar. Look at this. In Greece, following a tragic train crash in Greece that claimed the lives of 57 people, including numerous students, young people throughout the country have staged massive protests against the government. Protesters hold up placards as they participate in the Resist Racism March and rally in central London on March 18, 2023, ahead of the United Nations Anti-Racism Day. And racism against who? It ain't racism against Jake. All right, because hey, these heathen love to hate Jake. All right, you don't even see no Jake out there, man. It's just all heathens. See? Israel. Protesters gathered in the Israeli city of Tel Aviv for the 11th straight week of protests against the government's controversial judicial overhaul on March 18th, 2023. And yo, it's a that second Ezra 15. Let me see if I can get that real quick. Just bear with me one moment. Let me see. Or is it 15? Yeah, matter of fact, Salaki, I think it is. Second Ezra 15. What I'm looking for. 1 second. Second Ezra 15. Yup. 15 and we'll start at 14. Says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right. So what's going on here? Protests, violent protests. Okay, death. People rising up against their governments. All right, look at that. See? Let's go back. No. Slack 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. So are these people listening to their government leaders? Are they taking heed to them? Are they regarding them? The answer is no, because all of these nations are protesting against the powers that be. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So what are people doing? People are doing what they want to do. They're taking their actions into their own power. The government is saying no protest, no violence. The people are saying yes, we're going to protest and we're going to get violent because we're tired of the BS. We're tired of the NWO. People know that there's a NWO now. See? For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And here we are in great tribulation. All right, are you seeing it? In Venezuela, a public worker yells at security forces outside the labor ministry in Caracas during a protest for better salaries and benefits on Wednesday. South Korea protesters wearing vests bearing the image of South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol attend a rally on Saturday, March 18th in the South Korea capital to demonstrate against a summit between South Korea and Japan. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida on Friday praised Yoon for making a difficult decision and action by overcoming the troubled history between the two countries. So everywhere you look across the earth, look at that. Countries experiencing economic protests in 2022. See? So, hey, man, and look at America. They acting like protesting ain't going on inside America, man. See, so, you know, but then again, this is the devil, you know what I'm saying? So you got to take this with a grain of salt. But this is where they claim the largest protests are going on. But notice that America has zero, which I'm not going to put it up in this article, in this lesson, but I bet you I can find 5 articles right now where protests are happening within the U.S. But here, nothing. Inflation and economic slumps had been causing significant stress to households, and we highlighted late last year that the threat of civil unrest was escalating. With the arrival of spring in the northern hemisphere, a wave of protests is looming, and there are concerns that the worst nightmare could soon become reality with a global banking crisis. So hey man, you can't make this up, okay? Bottom line is the end is manifest. All right? The end is manifest through the prophecies, man. Second Ezra 9. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, which is what? What did the Lord tell us of before? The prophecy. The Lord told us that these things would come to pass in the last days, and they're happening just as he said they would. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, check that out. Is that not what we seeing? Earthquakes all over the place. It said in the Zero Hedge article, mass wave of protests are setting the world on fire. It says uproars of the people in the world. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so the times of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. Call her Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. So the things that we witness within the earth, these are all signs of the end. It ain't no going back. This is the end of the heathen rulership and the beginning of the righteous rulership, the forever kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. North Korea claims almost 800,000 people have signed up for its military to fight America. 800,000 of its citizens have volunteered to join. The Most High got these nations in the spirit of war. Okay, 800,000 strong, man. 800,000 deep, ready to go against America. And who are they going to ally with? The kings of the East. Putin, China, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Turkey. All of these nations are going to converge against the West. All right? And even NATO and the EU are going to turn against America, according to prophecy. All right? This is what's going to happen. North Korea has claimed that about 800,000 of its citizens have volunteered to join or re-enlist in the nation's military to fight against the U.S. 800,000 students and workers on Friday alone across the country expressed a desire to enlist. Now, where is that desire coming from? The Most High put it on their spirit to go to war. Okay, Joel chapter 3, muster the host of the battle together for the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat. The Euphrates River is dried up, that the way may be made for the kings of the east to do battle. 800,000, man. So they almost got 1 million. And they going to have well above 1 million by the time the other nations join in. But this is just their force. All right. And also North Korea, they looking to take South Korea back. All right, they looking to unify the Korean Peninsula, because what happened back in the day was America came in there during the Korean War and, basically separated South Korea, them being more of a democracy, and North Korea being more of a what they call a communist or a socialist state. But North Korea is looking to unite their own people, because you would think that, North Korea, South Korea, they two different, but nah, they the same people, man, but they were split apart by the West. See, so now these weakened nations, they're beginning to say, we are strong as well. Now we have nukes. Lil Kim shooting off them nukes like they firecrackers, man. Every other day. He just tested one, yesterday or 2 days ago? So, World War III is on and popping. All right, that's what you need to know. World War III is on. And it ain't no going back. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no going back until the missiles gonna fly and hit their targets. Graham says he will introduce bill to set the stage for U.S. to use military force in Mexico. Senator Lindsey Graham on Monday said he was prepared to introduce legislation to set the stage for U.S. military force in Mexico, saying it was time to get tough on the neighboring country after 4 Americans were kidnapped by armed men this week. I would put Mexico on notice, Graham said. If you continue to give safe haven to drug dealers, then you are an enemy of the United States. Graham added he would introduce legislation to make certain Mexican drug cartels foreign terrorist organizations under U.S. law and set the stage to use military force if necessary. So now you got America threatening to go up in Mexico. I would tell the Mexican government, if you don't clean up your act, we're going to clean it up for you. Goddamn devil, man. See? So there's just a very hostile, basically, man, what the Most High is doing, everyone is in a spirit of war. See, everyone, the people are in a spirit of war against the government. These nations are in a spirit of war against one another. All these nations are going to converge upon one another. This is the end of their rulership. See? And it's not like they're trying to reason. Like, this is past the point of reasoning. See, now they're at the point of, we about to really let you have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really where it is now. So, yeah, U.S. threatening to go up in Mexico. We'll get this last one and close out. Deadly flooding hits Turkey, still recovering from earthquakes. And they just updated the death toll on Turkey. They said over 50,000 people perished in that earthquake that happened in early February. At least 14 people are dead and several more are missing in Turkey following torrential flooding that turned streets into rivers. It says Keir Simmons reports on how these devastated communities are left to clean up nature's destruction once again after the country faced deadly earthquakes last month. So, yeah, I mean, hey, the Most High just letting these nations have it. All right, it's just calamity, disaster after disaster. Just no breaks. People over there in Turkey right now, they can't even rest because it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? But this is the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. The Most High is known by the judgment that he executes. All right? And for the longest time, people told us that we was, fear mongers, that we was hateful. But, hey, at the end of the day, we're going to tell you the truth whether you like it or not, because at the end of the day, you can't say that you wasn't told. You can't say that, we didn't like his words because they were too rough. Nah, man, to hell with that. Your Christian pastor, those that still going to church anyway, he's sitting up in the pulpit telling you every Sunday, things are going to get better. Just give. Meanwhile, you catching hell. And he's not breaking down prophecy to you. He's not telling you the events that's going on within the planet Earth. He's telling you prosperity doctrine. But yet, look at what's going on. Is he telling you that the banks are about to collapse? Is he telling you to forsake this world? Hell no. So, as the end is more and more manifest each day and things become more clear, the real men of the Lord, the true prophets, are being separated and are being our light is being shined even brighter. Okay, because hey, we've been saying the same thing, man. Our tune hasn't changed. You got guys out here that teach one doctrine one day, then the next week is something different. But nah, man, we've stuck to the script. Starting with our elders and apostles, and hey, you can see that there's been no deviation, because now, as the scriptures say once again, the vision is for an appointed time. So although for years we've been saying these things, it wasn't time for these things to come forth. Now is the time. All right, the end is manifest and things are set to be finished, to be fulfilled in full. All right, so With that, hopefully this lesson was edifying, quick and to the point. A closing call, Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Kum Yashala, DTA, and Abad Babal. Shalom.